Hi there, welcome back to some of the latest news on the Noah Presgrove case. So supposedly the very important eyewitness who's been in contact with the private investigator known as Kathy Bingham, in which Kathy Bingham recently gave an update recently announcing that the eyewitness who was at the casino 2023 or 24 unknown witnessed 3 of the guys from that party which Noah attended back in 2023 at the casino, kind of south of Terrell, the town, in the bathroom, disposing of a hat which awfully looked similar to Noah Presgrove's. Was it disposing of evidence? You never know. Does the footage still remain which could show them doing it, even though cameras normally aren't in bathrooms? But nevertheless, the PI said they're working on it and maybe even issue some kind of search warrant. But it's all about the eyewitness and what they saw. They saw 3 guys, party goers or former party goers, disposing of a hat that looked like Noah's. It just so happens that I may have caught their attention recently, and that's what we're supposedly looking at today. The individual, their name wasn't mentioned by Kathy Bingham, but it seems as if they've made their presence publicly known on my channel, and I've got some comments to look at their responses. So let's take a look right now. So here is the individual known as Kayla Carter. I'm assuming that's their proper name. Now, if they're called Kayla and their last name's called Carter, is this person related to any of the party goers from the party? Is this individual somehow related to the likes of Brooke Bounds Carter, BBC, Brooks Bound Carter, Kayla Carter, or is it just simply a coincidence that they've got the last name similar? Let me know what you think. But Kayla, 5 hours ago onwards, said, "How do I contact you? It's important." And I simply said, Instagram, Twitter, link on my channel page. They never responded back. And up to this moment in time of me recording this video, which is pre-recorded, which you will see later on tonight, at this moment in time, they did not respond back. It could change later, but by then my video would have been uploaded. So take that into consideration. What was said though as a public comment kind of aimed towards me is, Kayla Carter says, "I'm the female," in big capital letters. Okay. Who saw, and I worked there. So I clean the men's and women's bathrooms. What you've said about the hat is all wrong. This just goes to show how easily information can be twisted. So Kayla is saying that what I've been talking about the hat situation is wrong, and that either I, or maybe where it's come from, has been twisted. Either way, Kayla Carter is throwing shade at the private investigator in which they've been in contact with in the background. Well, that's not exactly a good report or a good attitude to have. Already a breakdown in communication, things not being quietly cleared or addressed properly, mistakes made along the way, things being twisted. Wow, this is not going well already, is it? Now, I don't know why Kayla Carter typed female in big capital letters. I mean, okay, you're a female. Woo, there we go. So, I saw the individuals. Well, that's why you called an eyewitness. That's why it was labelled as from what we saw in the transcript. You work there. Okay, fair enough. So you'll have access to these different areas. Fair enough. But that wasn't mentioned, was it, by the likes of the private investigator? It was very vague. So I'm not expected to know this backstory of this individual, am I? But yeah, what you've said about the hat is all wrong. Well, if it's all wrong, feel free to clear it up. And people could say, yeah, but can't say this, can't say that because of it, you know, it's ongoing in the background. Then why is this person presenting themselves publicly in the first place? And I'm not being rude, it's just a simple observation. But when Kayla Carter says, what you've said about the hat is all wrong, sounds very similar to Brooke Bounds Carter saying, what Caden Pressey says is all wrong. Or it's all wrong, it's not good enough. Well, feel free to elaborate. Simple as, isn't it? If you're going to say someone's done something wrong, correct them, explain, elaborate. That might be why they said, how do I contact you? But, as I said, there was no response. Maybe that's why they resorted to leaving public comments instead. But yeah, what's the deal about the hat? I mean, all I was doing was analysing possibilities. That's it. I wasn't stating it as a fact, not exactly. And I was also just relaying and reacting to the transcript of what the private investigators stated. So it's not that I'm wrong. You could argue and say it's the private investigator that's wrong, the person that you've been contacting within the background supposedly, and, well, there's a breakdown in communication. That's not exactly a good start, is it? So even mess externally outside of the case, the party house, there's misunderstandings along the way from how it's interpreted here. Well, let's move on. So this was part of a comment thread as well. So Kayla says, it's true because I'm the one who witnessed one of them tossing the hat on top of the trash can. Right, so not into the trash can, but just simply on top of it. Well, then that wouldn't really be considered disposing of it, right? But what happened after that then? They all three had hats on already. So they had 4 hats in total then. Say what you want, and that's not how Riverstar Casino and Jeffco works. Sorry. I think Kayla Carter was responding back to someone else's comment, okay, not to me. Kayla then says, and it just so happens our judge isn't in his right mind or is the sheriff. I have evidence of that as well from personal experience. Interesting. And then Kayla responds back to me. That's my job. We clean men's and women's bathrooms just like a male would clean them both as well. It's so annoying how people speculate what happened with the hat, but all of you are wrong. It's not that we're wrong, it's how it's bloody well put across by the private investigator. We looked at the damn transcript of it in my previous video. Not my issue. It's how others put their language and wording across. Okay? And if people don't know the full story, they're going to start questioning, they're going to be skeptical, they might fill in the blanks themselves to try and learn. It's what happens when you're twiddling your thumbs waiting for the next update. If people want to be cryptic and drop breadcrumbs, either because they're playing mind games or because of legal reasons, you can't blame the general public for filling in the blanks as time goes by. If the real individual wants to step on up, feel free to do so. But when there's an attitude, doesn't help the situation. So that's pretty much it there. As I've clearly said and outlined, when it comes to cases, you might have the gatekeeper of information, the truth, nothing but the truth about the whole case or a certain element and aspect, eyewitness or not. You can't get frustrated and expect and demand for the general public to be on the same wavelength as you if you've not explained it or revealed it public to them. They can't mind read your mind. They're not mind readers. So there's a bit of an unfair expectation and maybe a level of entitlement. But, you know, it's not just this individual who's got a bit of a slight tone and attitude to their voice, okay? Oh, it's so annoying, this and that. I mean, let's just refer back to the situation of one's role position. They're a cleaner, or that's part of their role there. Or maybe there's many other tasks and roles, jobs elsewhere, whatever. Okay, I understand that. Why one would have access to both gendered toilets and maybe even the disabled one as well. It's your job, it's your role. You go in, you clean, simple as. You might close the door, might put a sign out, or you might just announce that you're coming on in to clean up, whatever. That's normal, that's understandable, no issue. But my original comment in the video itself, what's a female doing in a male bathroom or toilets, that's a fair point and a fair question to put across. They themselves get a bit triggered or frustrated that I'm questioning that, and they're just simply defending themselves because of their role and job, fair enough. But just understand that I'm not going to know the full context because it wasn't addressed in the first place, okay? You only know so much, you got to try and fill in the blanks and question along the way. By questioning, you get an answer, and that's exactly what's happened today. All under control, okay? I've seen the pattern with human behaviour with time. You might get a case, you might get a story, an event, okay? The full picture isn't there. Missing pieces of the jigsaw. So what do? You make sense of what is stated, and then all the blanks, you question or you give theories. And with time, that can trigger or frustrate those that hold the truth, that then reach out and then give answers, and it fills in the blanks. That's good. That's positive. But when these individuals do it with an attitude and a bit of a tone to their voice, very unnecessary. It does not help the situation. You can be pissed, you can be triggered, but you can't direct that towards the general public who just don't know because they weren't told in the first place. They're not mind readers. It's as simple as that, okay? But the reason why I brought up as well about the normal situation of, if in a different situation, based off what we know of now, but in a different scenario, if you had a female, more so an adult, in a male toilet, that would be a bit weird and questionable. But let's not forget the double standards, because if the roles were reversed and you had a fully grown adult male in the women's toilets, there'll be outcry, outpour, sexual harassment claims, Me Too movements, and all of that. It can be heavily one-sided. Ew, you're a creep. What are you doing in here? Get away. But then if a woman was in a male toilet, ooh, hello there, come on in. You know, different attitudes, different tolerance levels. But if you want to be clear, you want to be balanced, you'll be saying, male toilets for a reason, female toilets for a reason. And you know where it goes from there with those other politically correct stuff, but let's put that aside. But in terms of being a cleaner, you've got clearance access to the different locations. It's a part of your role, your job. That makes sense. But getting frustrated or annoyed that people don't know the truth of this and that, and with the hat, they're not expected to know because they weren't told in the first place. But if you can put that across, that's appreciated. But, you know, it all comes down to attitude, okay? And it's not just here. I've seen it within a case over time. It just doesn't help. Just adds to unnecessary conflict, as we've seen. But is it 100% proven that this individual called Kayla Carter is the cleaner? Well, supposedly they are. Guess we'll see what happens next. I just wanted to share it as like an observation. Not everybody checks my videos or comments back after. So for this person to reach out now, another potential key individual, eyewitness that saw the hat being placed on top of a bin. Interesting. But let's just mention that before we go any further or leave. The hat was placed on top of the bin. Now, depends what bins are like. To place on top would mean there's a cover on top. Sometimes bins have just like a cover, and then on the sides there's like a letterbox where you can slip rubbish in, or like a circle. Bins differ from style to style, but if you can rest it on top, just like how you could sit on top and not fall in, there's like a covering over it. That's what it implies from what Kayla said there, or Carter. Interesting. If the hat was placed on top of the bin, it wasn't exactly disposed of into the bin. So then what happened after that? It just remained on top of the bin? That's even more weird. Oh, we might have Noah's hat. We're going to go down to a casino where we can get monitored, and we're going to place it on top of the bin, and then what? Walk away? I don't know. I said, Kathy Bingham, private investigator, was very limited in, passing on what she's heard from the eyewitness. Maybe the full story wasn't revealed. Maybe this Kayla Carter individual's getting frustrated at that. But it's not our fault. We've only been told so much. If more can come out for the right reasons, fine, bring it on, and we'll see what happens there. Now, in terms of a hat being disposed of and going to a landfill or a tip, well, based off the original story that you think, oh, placed into a bin, not on top, but into, as it was worded previously, you'd be thinking, well, that bin would get taken out, the trash bag, and taken away. Then how do you find it? If a hat's simply placed on top of a bin and left there, like when a person places a glove on a railing or on a fence out in public, it might be retrieved by someone and then, sent to where? Does that casino have a lost and found property box, anything like that? Would it still remain at the casino right now, or did someone else take it as like opportunistic behaviour? Or did the eyewitness take it themselves and keep it for safekeeping? That might trigger that eyewitness right now, but these are questions. All they have to be done is simply answered without much conflict. So, see what happens. Just wanted to document this. You can share the video if you want, and thanks for watching. You want to catch my previous videos earlier? I symbol, top right corner of the screen. You want to share your thoughts, reactions to this? Leave your comments under this video, and you'll find a pinned comment by me if you want to check that out. Thanks for watching. Goodbye for now.